I purchased some strawberries because I was gonna make my own filling. And then I saw you can just use strawberry preserves, but I still wanted to be extra and make my own. Something kept telling me to buy cornstarch at the grocery store this week, but I never use cornstarch. So I'm like, that's weird. Why do you want cornstarch? Well, guess what? I'm Googling recipes today, and all of them are saying to make your own filling to use cornstarch, which I don't have. So I don't want to take the risk and make it without cornstarch, and like maybe it doesn't thicken correctly and I throw everything off. So I'm just gonna use my strawberry preserves. Also, guys, if you ever need to make icing, just buy some pure cane sugar, powdered, cane sugar. It takes 2 seconds to make your own icing. It really does. And will save you money instead of buying a jar from Pillsbury or whoever. Yikes! I'm so sorry. I forgot the almond milk as well. You'll need that for the powdered sugar to make your icing, which literally takes 2 seconds. I honestly feel like these Pop Tarts are only gonna take a few seconds. I just preheated my oven at 350. But I think I should be done soon. It's 11:04. Let's see how long it takes. Okay, so I'm using phyllo dough. This brand is vegan and kosher. Although it's vegan, I really prefer all my stuff to be organic or non-GMO. My store didn't have any. I probably could have found some at Whole Foods. I just didn't want to go and search, and I really didn't understand this dough. I didn't even know how to pronounce it until I really started looking into it. So yeah, it's in the frozen aisle of the grocery store. In order to properly use it, I read online to put it in the refrigerator to let it thaw overnight or sit it out for 3 hours on the counter, but everybody says let it thaw overnight. So I put this in the refrigerator around like 10 p.m. last night, and it's 11:07 a.m. the following day. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so I lined my cookie sheet with parchment paper. So I'll pull out the other one. So there's 2 that came in the box package, right? And I'm told it's bad to like refreeze these, but I wonder, do they mean like after you like use it type of thing? Because I'm definitely throwing the rest of this in the freezer because I don't need to use all these. The recipe I saw said do 5 sheets, and this is already 5 right there, and look how much is left. And I'm not going to use all that. And okay, whatever. So it says to grease each sheet with butter. I'm going to use coconut oil. So I'm going to do 10 sheets, 5 for like that main layer, and then 5 for the top layer, and then I'll see y'all again. But this is definitely going back in the freezer, and the rest of these sheets that I don't use are going in the freezer as well. I do want to try different recipes like s'mores and brown sugar Pop Tarts, so hopefully they come back to life. If they don't, this was on sale for about $3.99, I believe. So it's not like they're super expensive to replace. All right, I ripped that one sheet. They're like very fragile to pull apart. It says to oil each side of each sheet. See that little piece already ripped up at the top, which is fine, that's the edges. And both sides of each sheet. So I thought this would take 2 seconds, but I think it might take a little longer. I don't know if it's because I usually have dip powder on my nails and my nails are just hard and thick. It feels weird cooking right now. I'm pretty sure it's because of my nails. I got lazy. It says oil each side, but like I feel like the oil that I already put down on the previous one doesn't mean I need the oil. Basically, I'm doing my own thing. At this point, I'm doing my own thing. The recipe I saw, they filled the whole thing with Nutella and sliced it up. I'm going to purposely like do kind of half, like cut these in half. I don't know how to explain it. It'll make sense when you see when I slice it, because I didn't like, actually, let me scroll and show y'all. No. Yeah, see, I didn't like how the Nutella's oozing out. Like, I don't want my strawberry to ooze out on each one. So I'm going to make sure when I put the filling in, oh, but I guess when it bakes, it's gonna spread. We'll see. I hope this makes sense. So this is kind of a big spoon. So I did maybe about 2 spoonfuls per section. So this is only gonna make 4 Pop Tarts, which is cool because this is a test and trial era right now. Why is, I don't know. Okay. Oh, duh, the oven is preheating. I'm like, why does it look like this is low-key baking? And now I'm gonna put 5 more layers of the sheets on top of this and then bake. And while that's baking, I will make my icing and then I will come back and let y'all know how it turned out. All right, so I'ma just, they had like a cool little cutter. I hope my knife works. Yay, I think, nope, it's not working. Darn it. Let me just be a little rough. Because it's only 4 sections, and then I'm gonna use a fork to kind of close those ends. Did it rip it? Yes, it ripped it. Okay, cool. Now, the recipe said to use like a brush to grease each sheet. I'm not fancy, I don't have that, so I use my spoon. So I don't know if I put too much oil or what. Okay, I see I'm not gonna be able to probably get away with that idea of the jam oozing because it's going to, I can see already. So maybe next time I do this, I'll cut them before, I don't know. Wow, after all that I just read, if you don't have a pastry cutter, just use a pizza cutter, which, duh. Oh my gosh, look at that, just beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay. Time trying to seal the edges. I thought it was easy and you could just use a fork. I'm pretty sure with regular dough, like homemade dough, it's easy. It doesn't really do anything with this. Or maybe I used to, look at all that oil just oozing out. Maybe I used too much. I don't know. We're about to see. So I'm gonna bake this for 12 minutes. I tried rolling the edges as well, and now I just gave up and said, hey girl, the edges will be cool. You'll be fine. I never follow a recipe with icing because it's literally just powdered sugar and whatever milk you choose. I did almond milk, and I just keep adding the powdered sugar till I get the consistency I want. But I can drop a actual recipe for y'all. Woohoo, I got the consistency I like with my icing. It's a little few red dots in there because I used my spoon from the strawberry jam earlier. But yes, and my timer just said they're done, so let me take it out the oven. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting me cutting them into 4s would make them this big. Like, I'm like, oh, I'll probably eat all these today. No, you won't, greedy. This is the whole freaking cookie sheet. I thought, I mean, duh, baking stuff gets bigger, but I don't know. In my head, I thought this would be like small. The recipe told me to cut them into 8, and I'm like, no, it's gonna be 4. I should have did 8. But yeah, this, I guess I'll just eat a half each time I make it. I think I'm gonna put them back in for 2 minutes. I want it a little bit more brown on this side, so I'm gonna turn them around and put it back in the oven. Okay, I did 2 more minutes. This is like brown enough for my liking, because it's still, you can hear her, well, you hear my onion sizzling too, but it's still sizzling. She's on her own little baking right now. I'm gonna let that cool and then add my icing. In the meantime, I'm gonna make some breakfast burritos. Look at that multitasking, people. Breakfast burritos done, about to throw that in the oven. I think these are finally cooled off. Oh wow, that's really flaky. I don't like that I couldn't seal the edges because I don't know. It's gonna be hard to eat it, is how I'm looking at it. Alright, about to drizzle these bad boys with some icing. And it is going everywhere. We are not making this cute. This is for consumption only. Not for sale. Oh wow, this is the perfect amount of icing. Oh, I'm so excited. It's not the way I wanted them to turn out, but it smells so good. I know it's gonna taste good. Pew, pew, pew. Yes. I drizzled the icing on. My oven was just on because I put the breakfast burritos in. So naturally, I know this isn't gonna like cool off the way I wanted it to because the stovetop is hot, but that's fine. I'm gonna give it maybe like a good 20 minutes and then I'm gonna come back and eat these after my burritos and tell y'all how it tastes. Look how oily this is. Like even, yeah, ugh. It's just oil everywhere. So I took a bite because I wanted to know, and it's so good. Honestly, I thought overall I didn't like this though because of the way it like flakes, but it tastes so good. I shouldn't have used that much oil. So next time I won't oil each side of the layer. Just, yeah, oil one and go type of thing. But it's still good. I mean, it is gonna help it a little bit because it's so saturated. But I moved it from this parchment paper that now I gotta clean this whole stovetop to this. But even when I move this, so see, this is oily too. So I'm gonna just have to rock out. But it's good, guys. It's delicious.